Don't be shy, 'cause life won't bring you down too far.
This is KUGAN CASSIUS for IFL TV in association with MTK Global. Delighted to be joined by, Mr. Bulgaria, Ivaylo Gotzev. How are you, sir?
Doing great, mate. I'm here at home, back home in Bulgaria. Today's a big day for us. It's the Day of the Union. 135 years ago, Bulgaria united on this date, 6th of September. So it's a great celebration for all Bulgarians. So we're very proud.
How's the situation been regarding the pandemic over there in Bulgaria?
Same as the rest of the world, you know. It's a pandemic, you know, and it's gotten the world upside down, and we're slowly getting back to normal. You know, God willing, by the end of the year, things will open up.
Yeah, hopefully so. Hopefully so. Ivaylo, I just wanted to kind of get an update from you on this whole Joshua Pulev situation. What actually is the latest with this regarding this potential fight for the end of the year?
Well, the very latest is that we have a fight that's soon to be announced. We're looking to target December 12th, looking to come to London, England, as originally planned. And we're very excited and delighted to be visiting UK in the month of December, ready to rumble.
So is this decision crowd permitting? We're hoping for a crowd, obviously, but is this like hindering on whether there's a crowd allowed or not?
From what I understand, there's definitely going to be a crowd allowed. At this moment, we're looking at a few thousand people. And by December, rules can change again to where there's going to be a good capacity allowed of a good crowd. And we want those fans there. We want the energy of the boxing fans, and there is no better than the UK boxing fans. You know, they're known around the world. And why not? I mean, we want to have a full arena if possible, if not at least half full.
Ivaylo, over the last sort of weeks and months, when you hear stories about a potential Joshua Fury fight being made and Kubrat, you know, potentially stepping aside and Wilder stepping aside, what do you think when you hear all these kind of stories about Joshua Fury?
Well, first of all, I do believe that the fight, the possibility of a fight with Tyson Fury versus AJ is a terrific one. It's a great fight. It's a great fight, but this is boxing. This is a worldwide sport. There are many heavyweights that fight to get up on a pedestal, to become number one, to become mandatory challengers. So those rules need to be respected. So if the two reigning champions right now both, you know, are from UK, they must take the proper challenge from the, you know, number one contenders. And that's what Kubrat is. He's earned his position, blood, sweat, and tears in that order. And he's been waiting for 3 years. So give him a shot. Now let's get it over with. AJ is quite the favorite in the fight. He's fighting at home. We give him all the conditions they asked for, and let's do the right thing. You know, he faces Kubrat, and then, you know, see what happens then. That's the $500 million question.
Bob Arum is absolutely convinced, Ivaylo, that Kubrat Pulev will knock Anthony Joshua out. He's been saying it for months. Absolutely convinced that Pulev will knock AJ out.
Well, this is heavyweight boxing, you know, and that's the beauty of it. You know, this one punch changes all, and Kubrat's got the power to do so. We've seen what happened to AJ when he got hit, and yeah, I mean, this is heavyweight boxing, you know, the theater of the unexpected. You know, one punch can end it all. So that's what we're training for, and that's what's going to happen on our end. We're ready.
Has there ever been conversations or serious conversations about Kubrat potentially stepping away from this fight to allow any other fight to happen? Has those conversations with like Eddie Hearn, have they happened?
Well, there's been a very lukewarm conversation, and not with Eddie, but maybe with Bob Arum, that would pass by the idea. There hasn't never really been anything serious in that respect, nor we're willing to do a step aside unless the world's going to end, and you know what, and there's one fight left, and then we'll understand. But the world is back in business, so there's time for all these fights to take place. There's time for all these fights to take place, and
we know a couple of years ago, obviously this fight was already meant to have happened at Cardiff. It didn't happen, and Joshua ended up fighting Carlos Takam. So this fight really should have already have happened by now.
Yeah, 2017. That's when it should happen, and then that's when Kubrat got injured, and immediately he got replaced with Takam. And now it's 3 years later. We're still knocking on that door of AJ, and now we're on his doorstep knocking. So here we come.
What's Kubrat's mentality at the moment? Obviously, he's along with everyone else, your team, etc., and AJ and his team waiting for this date to be confirmed and finalised. But what's his kind of mentality going into a potential fight on December 12th?
Yeah, well, one thing about Kubrat's best is his mental toughness. He's a man's man. He's a real man. He's basically a tough competitor mentally, physically always fit. So basically, this is going to be a battle of a man versus a boy, mama's boy, in AJ's case, because he's been crying a lot. He wants to go home. He wants to be in front of his own fans. He wants this, he wants that. We gave it all to him. So now, take the proper challenge. Now it's Tyson Fury. We understand. But this fight must happen first. So Kubrat's going to bring his power, his mental power, his physical abilities, his boxing knowledge. His boxing ring generalship is, I believe, superior to AJ. AJ is quite the puncher. Don't get me wrong. He does have the tools. He does have the assets. He's got a mean right hand. He's got a mean uppercut. He's got a left hook. He's got the tools to set anybody off on their ass, basically, and that's heavyweight boxing. Style-wise, this is a terrific fight. So it's going to be an awesome battle.
Ivaylo, does Kubrat feel at all disrespected that Joshua gets talked about fights with Fury when he's the mandatory challenger? Kubrat is the mandatory challenger, but all these other fights get spoken about. Does Kubrat feel disrespected by people talking like that, or is that just boxing?
No, that's just putting more fuel into the fire and the burning desire to go there and upset AJ. Disrespected? No. This is a business after all, and obviously, matchroom boxing needs this big payday, and they need to save their, the day and their empire, because they're bedrock on a rocky spot right now, with the zone being shaky and the way of the world right now. Every business is experiencing a challenge, and that's their main guy. AJ is their main guy, and if he could earn for matchroom, we understand the business part of it. But all that aside, this is a sport, and there are rules, and let's respect the rules of the sport.
When are you hoping, if you give us a little time scale of when we'll get official confirmation of this fight? When are you hoping for that?
We're in the final stages of basically signing off the addendum to the original agreement with the new date and all the terms. There hasn't been much of the terms that have changed. So, expect days, not weeks. It's going to be days before we can announce there's a new date. And there's going to be a proper press conference scheduled to announce the official date.
We'll definitely look forward to that. Yeah, you've made some comments about Joshua's performances against Andy Ruiz, and it didn't seem like you were too impressed by those two fights, the first or the second one.
Well, me and the rest of the world, me and the rest of the boxing world, we saw AJ fall apart in New York. He literally fell apart. I say he looked like a deer in headlights. And then the second fight in Saudi Arabia, he ran like a deer. I mean, he created a perfect style, you know, for him to win at all costs. But that bored a lot of boxing fans. He did not impress. So, you know, him gaining his home court advantage, you know, it should give him a little more fire in his belly so he can fight, you know, a better fight against Kubrat. You know, we want to see a heavyweight battle, and we didn't see that in his last two fights.
Were you or Kubrat surprised by Povetkin's win over Dillian Whyte a couple of weeks ago, or not?
Absolutely not. I love Povetkin. I love his style. He's a real fighter. I mean, at heart. And although his age is already up there, I know that he's got the heart to offset any challenger in front of him, much younger, much, say it, better athlete or whatever. You know, Sasha's got the heart that's hard to match against him. You know, if he lands, especially those uppercuts, he's a master at it. So congratulations to Sasha. We loved it when we saw it because, you know, and it couldn't happen to a better guy other than Dillian Whyte, who, you know, he's got a mouth.
What do you think happens in the rematch, Ivaylo?
Rematch of them two?
Yeah.
You know what? Once bitten, twice shy. I think he's already, Sasha's already tapped into that sweet spot. You know, he'll find it again. He'll find it again. I see the same thing all over again, a knockout.
Could you give us an update on any of your other fighters that you're involved with, Ivaylo?
Well, we're focusing on a heavyweight division. I have quite a stable with young heavyweights, exciting heavyweights. And really, that's my forte. I've worked over the years, whether as a manager, advisor, or an agent, for 7 heavyweight champions of the world, one time or another during their careers. I've started Sergey Lakovic and Sam Peter from their pro debuts to the top. So I bet on the heavyweight division, and soon you will know about the stable and our ability to challenge, you know, for the top, the heavyweight crown. So we're going to keep coming. We're going to keep coming. The Brits are there. And don't get me wrong, you guys have quite a stable of British top heavyweights. So it's going to be exciting times ahead, and we're going to give you a proper challenge.
We'll definitely look forward to that. Heavyweight boxing is always the most talked about division in the world, and nothing's new today. Nothing's new.
Nothing, and thankfully, now we're in an era where there's so many good challenges out there. I mean, we've been through 10 years of the Klitschko's reign, and that got to be quite boring and quite, you know, crazy for a while, you know, the way they handled their business. But now there's people willing, able to take a challenge and travel, and it's an exciting time to be in a heavyweight division.
Absolutely. Okay, well, Ivaylo, I appreciate you giving IFL TV a little bit of your time. Hopefully, when the fight's announced, we can kind of get another word with you. If it's going to be a press conference, it might be in person then when we see you next. So
yeah, let's do it again when I can open up, because now it's kind of the ball's in a court of Matchroom. You know, they have to basically announce the date and close the deal with us. And once that's done, once it's signed off, man, we can unleash all the talking, and we can, believe me, you're welcome to come to Bulgaria and watch Kubrat train. He's in beast mode. He's ready to go. AJ, here we
would love to do that. I was over there. Well, the only time I've been to Bulgaria is when Hughie Fury fought Kubrat Pulev a couple of years ago.
Tough times you guys gave us, all the fans of Hughie, man. That was an interesting time. You know, you guys bring on the fans. I got to tell you, man. So it was a good time. It was a good challenge too. And Hughie Fury is going to be a future champion, I reckon. He's only 25 years old. He's, you know, I really salute him for taking the fight against Kubrat at the time he took it, when he didn't have the experience. And with time, I believe he's going to be another British heavyweight to watch out for. You know, he's going to get there. He's getting stronger. He's a tough guy.
I also remember on that show, that's the only first time I've seen a fighter attack his trainer in the corner.
Wasn't that something, huh?
I've never seen anything like that in my life, but that was quite an experience out there. So it was good.
Yeah, too. Those aren't no little punches. They threw some knockout punches. It was crazy, crazy night.
Madness. Okay, Ivaylo, thank you very much for your time. And like I said, hopefully the next time we speak, the fight has been confirmed and announced, and we can go a little bit more in depth into it.
Absolutely. Thanks for the call, and look forward to doing it again.
Appreciate your time. Thank you very much for talking to IFL TV.
Right on.
Don't be shy, 'cause life won't bring you down too far.